time over the holidays and extended family members that come for the holidays. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but I know I have. And you're saying, hey, be on your best behavior. Look it's auntie or whatever. And they're like, nah.
You got to do your homework. Look, if you're coming into town and you've got kids you're going to see, talk to your family members and say, hey, what are they into? You got to find out, because if you bring things with you to do with kids and you go to them and say, hey, I want to get to know you, I want to play with you, what do you like to play?
They have to get down to their level
you have
and do
to.
something.
And people make this mistake that over the holidays, family time has to be things that parents decide, okay, we're going to go do this and that. If you don't consult with your kids, they will single-handedly ruin whatever you do. And parents, you know that. So talk to your kids about, hey, what would be fun to do with grandma, aunt and uncle, friends who come in, make a list of things to do and go do them. It doesn't even have to be expensive, but you got to go to them with things. Okay,
so that's really important. And then you consult with the parents to find out what it is the kids like to do.
Yeah, and consult with the kids. If kids have Facebook now, older kids, get on if you're friends with them and say, hey, you're coming to see us. What do you like to do? What games do you like to play? And there's certain games that all people can play with their kids. For example, cards, and I brought cards. And you can play great card games with kids and families. They love that. Just make sure that you don't beat them all the time.
And then you said you had a viewer that wrote in from last year. We were talking about this kid time, because it is a big deal when all the extended family, they only see you once a year.
Right.
It brings a bag of tricks.
Absolutely. Look, the grandparents want to have a good time with their grandkids. And kids, people who come from the East Coast or the Midwest to see people in California, in San Diego, look, you don't have a lot of time. You want to make a good time. So oftentimes you get those grandparents or family friends who will bring like a bag of stuff with them, not presents per se, but things to do and things to play with. And that's a wonderful way of engaging kids. And don't be surprised, if you come in town, you haven't seen your niece and nephew or grandkids, they might be standoffish to you for a while, because it takes time for people to warm up. So if you want to get into it faster, you've got to bring stuff that they're going to want to do.
And family outings should have something for everyone, right?
Have fun. I mean, the whole piece of the holidays is have a good time. If you don't do things that you're going to have a good time with, kids will get bored. They'll get anxious. They'll get in bad moods, as you and I have talked about with our kids. So you've got to make it a fun thing. We were talking about Christmas cards. How do you get toddlers?
Oh, we had the disaster this weekend trying to take the Christmas picture.
Yeah, no, this is a great topic. We should talk about, because getting little kids to smile or be good in front of the camera, and
more than one kid to smile at the same time.
It's boring. They'll tell you that, and you can try to say, look, let's go to Target or something afterwards. That works with some of them, but this is where you can have fun pictures. I like the pictures where you're natural. You get your kids climbing all over you and you're playing with them. That's a great Christmas card, because everybody's doing something fun.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so, and then also we should tell the parents and aunties and uncles and everything not to feel rejected.
Yeah, that's the point I was talking about. That look, when you're an out-of-town visitor, even if you're a family member, they may not know you very well. And most kids, unless they have this very outgoing, natural personality of, hi, how are you? They're going to be a little bit, hey, wait a minute. And when parents or grandparents or aunts get their feelings hurt, like he must not like me. It's not about not liking. They're just not used to you.
Oh, and you hate it when they say things like that, because you think, okay you've been here for one day.
But kids are looking for you being interested in them. Asking them questions. What do you like to do? What are you into in school? If you find out ahead of time and you bring something with you, like I was joking around with the video game thing, but I'm practicing right now, because when my kids are going to be hanging with me, I better be good at Guitar Hero, or I'm going to get really.
And you were talking about also adolescents. That's a tough age group for someone who doesn't know them. Yeah. You're saying don't ask too many questions to
No, you kind of got to hang with them and kind of go
play
off of
a game or something.
But when you want to do something with adolescents, it's very important that you say, hey, look, if it's family time, great, but if you want to make it better, let them bring a friend. I always say that's a great idea. Look, if you want to have a really good vacation with your kids, or you want to have a good holiday time, your kids are trying to separate from you and become more like their peer group. So if you allow their friends to be there, they're on better behavior. They'll listen more. You can get their friends involved in kind of, hey, would you do me a favor and convince my son to go along with this? Sure, Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so. They're helpful. So don't not invite the friends over. It doesn't have to be the whole day, but they will, and your kids will thank you for doing that.
Good advice. All right, good to see you.
You want to do the card trick or not? Should we try this? Do we have 2 seconds? Wait, if I mess this trick up, Jim's going to kill me. All right, Jim. I'm not a magician, right? Okay, but we have an ordinary deck of cards. You can have these anywhere. Linda, put your finger in the deck. I'm not looking, Jim. Okay, show Jim the card. God, if I mess this card trick up, I'm going to be really bummed out. You right that? Yeah. Okay, you're going to put it back in the deck. I'm not looking.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Just put it back in there. I didn't see it. I really didn't. Okay, here, there, this way. You saw it was this way? Okay, we're going to flip them around. Tap it 3 times. Touch the card?
Yep.
Oh, see? It works. Disneyland.
Wow.
Okay, anyway.
If this whole thing doesn't work out, you've got to.
You can entertain your, you can entertain your kids too.
Kids love magic.
Right, and then let them try to do the trick.
All right.
Fun stuff. Make it interesting.
Thanks,
Dr.
Dr.
All right, everybody.
Kanter.
We'll see everybody next week.